Hey everybody, happy the month of October. I wanted to go over the stats for this month and give you some market updates. So what we see in the month of October is interest rates are steadily rising, and that equates to prices coming down ever slowly. Sellers are holding steady and prices are falling, but only on the properties that have some issues, or only on the properties that have some sort of blemish. Other than that, they're still moving quickly if they're priced right. But it's important to remember that we are now in a normal market, and in a normal market, you price your home in a way that will be competitive, and if it is competitive, then it will sell quickly. So the things that are important to get the price right is to make sure that you price it at market value, so that the buyers feel urgency, and they feel like if they don't jump on the house, somebody else will jump on the house and they will lose out, and that will cause them to give you full price. Yeah, that will cause them to give you over full price, and even in a normal market like we are in today. And then the other important point is market time. Market time is super important, because the longer that a house stays on the market, the less it will fetch. Sometimes when we are in a normal market situation, the buyer may like the house, they may view the house, they may like the house, they may actually want to put an offer on it. But if they don't perceive that there is value in the house, or if they perceive that the house is overpriced, then they will just pull back and they will not make an offer, which then causes the house to sit on the market and get old, and then end up getting even less than asking price if you had listed it for market value, in a way that the buyer felt like if they don't make an offer today right away, then they will lose out. Another point that's really important to consider is the fact that sometimes when you put a house on the market and the house has even slight blemishes, like for example, if it has a one car garage versus a two-car garage, if it has a heater but it doesn't have a cooler, any of these points, let's say in the kitchen, if it has a vent but not a microwave above, some things that to you it may feel really not that big of a deal, but to a buyer may feel like those are non-negotiables for them, and if they don't get that in a house, they won't buy it. But if the house is priced well, they may overlook that and still buy the house. But if the house is overpriced, then they may pass that on and move on to something else. These are all points that you want to consider when you are listing your house for sale, and when you are trying to be competitive in a normal market, which basically means it's not a strong seller's market. It's not like you put the house on the market and it will sell in 2 minutes, like we had seen in January, February, March of this year, or in the whole of 2021. Okay, so now I want to share with you some of the stats for 4 of the zip codes that I am watching. 92116, which is Kensington and Normal Heights and University Heights. 92103, which is Mission Hills and Hillcrest. And those are the metro areas. And then I also am watching 2 zip codes up north, which are Del Mar 92014 and Carmel Valley, which is 92130. So if you are familiar with where our offices are located, we have an office in University Heights in San Diego, and we have an office in Del Mar. And that's the reason why we are watching these 2 zip codes closer to where our office is located. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you some of the zip codes according to what I am talking about. So here is 92116, and as you can see, 92116, we are comparing September, because right now we're in the month of October, and when we are in October, we're going back and we're looking at the month prior. And so when you are looking at September, you can see median sales price for 92116 actually has come down by 23%. And that is sheer fact that interest rates have risen to a point where sellers actually have to adjust their price to be able to sell what the house looks like. And also month supply of inventory, as you can see, we have gone up and finally now we have some inventory. But a normal inventory, normal market has about 6 months of inventory. And we're ever slightly above 1 month of inventory. So inventory wise, we are still suffering. We still don't have a whole lot to talk about. Year to date, though, if you look, it's still a very different story. We are up by 21% since last year. So even though in the month of December we see some price adjustments overall, since last year in September, we're still seeing some serious appreciation. The same story remains for townhomes and condos. As you can see, inventory is up 100%, but only by about a month of inventory, because last year about this month, this time, we only had about 2 weeks worth of inventory for condos and townhomes. There is the numbers that I wanted to share with you for 92116. Let's go ahead and look at 92103. Now, 92103 is overall a zip code that is more affluent than 92116. So when you consider that, you can see that prices have adjusted, but not as much as they have adjusted, because when interest rates go up and the buying power gets lower, the group that gets affected more is the group that needs to borrow more, and the more affluent that you are, less you need to borrow because you have more access to money, or you don't have to borrow as much. Now, those are all assumptions. That's not always the case 100%, but generally that's what happens. So year to date, you can still see 14% appreciation year to date from last year, 2021, September of 2021 to September of 2022. And now let's look at condos and townhomes. And condos and townhomes, you also see slight depreciation from September of 2021 to September of 2022. But if you're looking at year-to-date numbers, you still see some serious appreciation. And let's see, what else should we look at? If we look at the inventories, we still see that inventories are rising, but not by as much as a normal market shows, which is about 6 months. And we only have slightly above 1 month in terms of inventory that we can see in 92103. Let's move on to Del Mar and also Carmel Valley. So if we're looking at Del Mar, now here's the interesting thing about Del Mar. If you are comparing, it looks like we don't really see that effect of interest rate affecting the prices in Del Mar. Isn't that interesting? And you may ask, why is that? Well, the reason for that is when you are above $2 million, a lot of the times there's a lot of cash that is being used to purchase property. And if you have cash and interest rates go up and down, that does not really affect you, right? Because interest rate affects people that are borrowing money. And if you're not borrowing money, then the change of interest rates may not affect you as much. And as you can see, we see September 2021 to September 2022, there is still appreciation happening here. And year to date, we are up by 26%. And inventory is up ever so slightly. Now, the same is not the case in the condo market. So as you can see, condo market, in the single family home market, you see appreciation, but a lot stronger appreciation here, as you can see here, because in this market, this market is being affected by interest rates, and it shows, and it also shows it year to date. So that's an interesting story to see. And if we can come back to Carmel Valley and compare that in here, you can let's see if we can see that trend continuing. And you can see that trend continuing. 19% appreciation for single family homes versus 14% appreciation for condos and townhomes. And let's see, you can also see appreciation year to date from the year before, up 31%, and appreciation for condos up by 32%. Inventory, now look at this. This is really, really interesting. Inventory has gone from basically half of basically 3 weeks inventory to 2 months inventory. So now you can really see that, yes, market has slowed even in red hot Carmel Valley. So there you have it, all of the information that I wanted to bring to you, along with the charts. And thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that you have a great weekend. If you are trying to get a hold of me, you can give me a call. There's my phone number. And if you prefer to email me, there's my email address. You can also find me on Instagram. There's my Instagram handle. Or on YouTube, you can find me at our home at Pemberley Realty. And if you like this video and if you like to see it every month, please give it a thumbs up or give it a like. And I really appreciate you following me. And I will see you next time.